Hey everyone, it's Jason. This is Exploding Kittens, the 2-player edition. This just came out, and I picked it up even though I own the base set, so I don't really need a 2-player edition necessarily. But I thought that way everyone could kind of see what's in it, because it doesn't really explain a whole lot on the box. It has lots of the same stuff that was on the base game, like quick how to play, let's use the diffuse, try not to explode. Mentions it's family friendly. It doesn't mean there's not images in here that might not be disturbing or graphic. It just means there's not like straight up dismemberment or nudity, full nudity or anything. But you're playing a game called Exploding Kittens, expect to see maybe some disturbing images. So what's different about this from buying the base game is the question there. So we're just going to take a quick look at the instructions. So the basic thing is has all the same types of cards, as the base game. The rules are maybe a little bit different because you're going to have less cards. Just less cards in the deck, but you're going to do the same overall gameplay. You're going to have one exploding kitten in there for each one per player, or one minus the number of players. So you're playing 2-player, you have 1 in the deck. And then you have 1 diffuse, play, pass, end the game. All the stuff is basically the same. And then on the back, it's going to just explain which cards are in the deck, how many there are, how everything works, how the turn works. I'm not going to sit here and go through every single thing on how to play this. I've probably done that in the base game video. This is more just to say what was different. And what's different is just less cards. It has the exact same cards except for one difference of what's in the actual base game. There's just less of every card. So if you already own the base game and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy this to get something new, you're not getting anything new out of it. You're not going to get any new types of cards. You're not going to get any new artwork or anything, with the exception of one card, which I'll show when I get there. But basically what they did was they took the base game, they pulled like half of the cards out, because I think the base game is like 56 cards or something, and this is only like 30 or 30 something, so they pulled just a little less than half out. I don't see the exact number. But that's what it is. It's going to have 2-player edition on the bottom, just to keep track of it. So of course we're going to get our Exploding Kitten. We're going to get 4 copies of Taco Cat. This card is powerless on its own. Play 2 Taco Cats as a pair to steal a random card from another player. So I think that might be one thing they started updating in the later sets, is they started adding this flavor text. I don't believe the original ones had these. We also have Rainbow Ralphine Cat. Get 4 copies of that one, and 4 copies of the Beard Cat. So these are 4 generic. I think there was 5 different ones in the base game, if I remember right. Yes, mostly there was like 4 or 5 versions of the card, and now in this one there's 2 to 3. So we have Favor. Take your friend's beard sailing on your beard boat. One player must give you a card of their choice. Ask for a back hair shampoo. And rub peanut butter on your belly button and make some new friends. Then we have our Nope cards. Nope Ninja delivers a wicked dragon kick. Stop the action of another player. You can play this at any time. Nope Stradamus speaks the truth. All signs point to Nope. Feed your opponent a Nope sandwich with extra Nope sauce. We have See the Future. So they did adjust this, as now they're going to start saying ×3. This is what they started doing in the later expansions and in newer versions of the base game. So if you own the very, very original or early on copies, they're not going to have them times on there. But if you pick up newer editions, they will. And that's just to say how many cards you do. You're not saying you get to play this 3 times, but it's probably view the top 3 cards of the draw pile. It's just letting you know you're going to do 3 actions, essentially. So deploy the special ops bunnies. Rub the belly of a pigicorn. and Ask the All-Seeing Goat Wizard. Then the next ones we have are Shuffle. A trans-dimensional litter box materializes. When I go poo into the wormhole, 1,000 possibilities. It will break the known universe. It will probably also smell like poo. Shuffle your draw pile. So this is the one oddball card. So there was still more shuffles in the original game, but they swapped out all of those versions for this version, which is only available in the Recipes for Disaster expansions. It's not even from one of the first 3 expansions. It's from like another re-release. I mean, it does the same thing as all the rest, so this would be the only one that would have different artwork, but it is available in another set. So discover you have a toilet werewolf. We have Skips. Don a portable cheetah butt. End your turn without drawing a card. Commandeer a bunny raptor. And engage the hyper goat. And then we have the attacks, which now say ×2 on them. Because there are later ones of like the Alter the Future or See the Future and Attack that do like ×3 or ×5. That's why they started adding these numbers on, because that way you can tell the different attacks apart really quick. Because that's the idea. Is you know what the attack does after you play it a few times. You can just look at, oh, this is attack 2, that one says attack 5, but they still share like the same color scheme. So unleash the Tatterwalkie. Do not draw any cards. Force the next player to take 2 turns. And fire the Crabapult. And then our last cards, of course, are Diffuses via Belly Rub, via 3 AM Flatulence, and via Laser Pointer. Alright, so that's all we got. Yeah, not a whole lot extra on there, but a lot of people want to play as 2 players, or maybe you want to be able to just take this with you somewhere else, or maybe you just want to buy a cheaper version, because I think this was like $10 versus $20 for like the full set. You just want to try it out, or maybe you see other people playing it and you don't have 5 people at your house. You see maybe you and your siblings, or you and your significant other, or you and your kids maybe, and you just want like, oh, I just want to play a quick game. I have 2 players. Even if you own the base game, this might be something worth picking up, just so you don't have to like then pull out cards and try and figure it out of your base game and then have to reshuffle them, and you just have a second set sitting there. But if you already own everything and you're not concerned about, and you're just wanting to know, oh, do I need to have this so I have every type of card? There's nothing brand new in this set, which is the main point I wanted to make. It's not an expansion, it's just a reduced version of the original base game. Alright, that's all I got for this video. See you guys later. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Jason. This is another Exploding Kittens unboxing. This is the brand new big box called Recipes for Disaster. It's called the Ultimate the Ultimate Collection 1 box. So it's going to be a party game, 2 to 5 players, 121 cards. So it's going to have cards from the base set, from the 3 expansion, Imploding Kittens, Shrieking Kittens, and Barking Kittens. It has also 13 recipes, which we'll kind of go over. It's just a different way to like change up how the games is played. And it has a wearable Cone of Shame, because I believe it was Imploding Kittens came with a Cone of Shame. So they added one in here, so that way if you're using those cards. There is nothing outside of the recipes, but for the actual game cards, there's nothing new in this set compared to the other ones. So if you own the base game, you own all the expansions, and you don't really care about learning how to play other different game modes, you don't need to buy this. If you want to just like, oh, I've seen friends play this, or I've heard about it, this might be a great way to pick it up, because then you can pick it up and you're going to get a lot more variety of cards versus having to try and collect 4 different sets. If you now buy this, however, and you decide you want everything else, you're going to have to, like, you buy like one of the expansions or the base game to get things, you're going to end up with duplicates. So here's your Cone of Shame. This side faces you. You did this to yourself. Wear your shame. So that's just a big cone that you can buy. So then basically, slap it together and you wear it around your head. Very optional if you want to play it. This is different though, however, than the Cone of Shame that came with the Exploding Kittens game. So again, maybe if you want 2 Cones of Shame or options of stuff to wear, you can always pick up the second set. So it's going to come with this little thing. Just after you play your first game, load your cards into the tray by type. So if we look at the tray in here, it actually has it sorted out. So that way you can sort out all your different types of cards. So if you that way if you're playing these recipes, which tell you to take certain cards out or only use certain cards, versus just shuffling everything together, you can sort them out and be like, okay, I needed 2 attacks. I'll grab 2 attacks from there. I need 3 diffuses. I need 2 skips. You can just pull them out quick without having to sit there and sort them out throughout big piles, which I just have them in there. It does come right away sorted out in a game for like your first time playing, which is also kind of nice. If you've never played it before, you can jump right in and explain how to play it. So the instructions is fairly quickly. You play a card or you pass. And that's what you do. When you're done passing, you draw a card. If you draw a card and it's a Exploding Kitten, either you play a diffuse, or you blow up and you lose. And that's it. And when you decide to play cards, you can play as few or as many as you want. So you can play your entire hand, you can play 1 card. Sometimes it's a bluffing game because you might want to let people think you have stuff that they don't know you have. There's some other couple different modes in here. And there's recipes, and we'll go over those. Yeah, if you explode, you lose. If you don't explode, you win. All the other cards. It is a nice game because it has an ending. Because if there's 5 players, you put 4 Exploding Kittens in the deck. So you will eventually, at some point, even if it gets down to eventually either run out of cards in the deck or the game will end, depending on how well it was shuffled. So this is an extra little sheet to have that just goes through what all the different cards are and how many are in the set. So like, we'll actually go through all of them, but it gives you a little bit better idea of how each card works. So we will look over those. And then here's a bunch more on the back. So because it takes from 3 different expansions, you're going to have a lot more different types of cards versus if you were just playing the base game. But if you played all 3 sets, I think every card is at least represented at least once. So every single card from every type of card is represented. I don't think anything got missed. Just you're not gonna have all the different ones. But I don't believe there's any new art. I don't think there's any new artwork or anything. I might be wrong on that. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of fly through some of these and just see what we got. Just so you can see. So we have Exploding Kitten, causes a chem lab explosion. This one rigged up some C4, blew up that building. We're gonna have these might not all be like, all the same cards might not be right next to each other just based on how these were shuffled in there. So we have a diffuse, which says, instead of exploding, secretly putting an Exploding Kitten back into the draw pile. Diffuse via pork back riding in the sunset together, via mauling a baby, and via crate. We are going to get some Exploding Kittens, and this is going to have the RFD recipe for Disaster Edition, just so you can keep them separate. So we are going to get 4 copies of Exploding Kittens, or Imploding Kittens. And again, you might not use these in every single game. This is because they have these recipe modes, which we'll look at, which might tell you to have fewer or more cards than you may have had in the original game. When drawing face down, put back in the deck face up without using a diffuse. Then drawing face up, explode immediately. This card cannot be diffused. So basically you get it once, and you set it off, you put it back in the deck. And then when somebody else draws it, they automatically lose. So you don't, yeah, it's kind of just a little bit different. And then we have Barking Kittens, which is the third expansion. We got 2 of those. Wolf will stay away from my yard, or I will continue to make loud noises. When played, if anyone has another Barking Kitten, they explode or defeat. Has another Barking Kitten, they explode or defuse. Otherwise, keep it in front of you, and it becomes a target when another one is played. So the first one you draw, it just sits out there, and then when somebody else plays one, when played, if anyone has another Barking Kitten, they explode or they defuse. Yeah, so it kind of like targets some. So it's like a delayed bomb. And then we have Streaking Kitten. You can distract an exploding kitten with your magnificent bod. As long as this card is in your hand, you may draw it secretly and hold one exploding kitten without blowing up. So it's kind of like a weird diffuse. Because then you can hold it and then someone might draw a card from your hand or steal one. They might end up drawing an exploding kitten and take the hit. We have See the Future. Probably view the top 3 cards of the draw pile. So really quickly, just the X3 is going to show us that's what it is. Drink the entire bottle of bald eagle tears. Summon the mantis shrimp. Rub the belly of a pigacorn. Feast upon a unicorn enchilada and its giant enchilada powers. Deploy the special ops bunnies. And ask the all-seeing goat wizard. And then we have some See the Future times 5. Behold the angler pig. Probably view the top 5 cards of the draw pile. And then all of these have the same artwork. I think. Yeah. Then we have Alter the Future times 3. Probably view and rearrange the top 3 cards of the draw pile. Gaze upon a mermaid. Go time traveling with a crab and disrupt the space crab continuum. Summon the golden-haired manatee. And then we have Share the Future. View and arrange the top 3 cards in the draw pile, then show the cards to the next player. Send in the Recon Sloth. And we got 2 of those are the same. And then we got 2 copies of Listen to the Worst of an Emo Emu. We have Mark. So we have 4 copies of this, which are all the same. What was yours is now mine. Choose a player and randomly pick one of their cards. They must keep that card facing outwards in their hand until it is played or stolen. Alright, then we have some of the generic ones, which you can match. So we have Ada's Own Eyeball Zombie Cat. This cat card is a cat card and powerless on its own. Play 2 zombie cats as a pair to steal a random card from another player. And then you can also do 3 of a kind. So if you play 3, you can actually choose one of their cards. But there's only 4 copies, so getting 3 is pretty spectacular. Well, that's why if you add other sets, you could definitely have a lot more. So we have Beard Cat, which does the same thing. We have the Rainbow Ralphing Cat, which we have 4 copies of. I'm just going to put 3 more down. We have Swap Top and Bottom. Swap the top and bottom card of the draw pile. Make some poor medical decisions. We have Shuffle. Shuffle the draw pile. Discover you have a toilet werewolf. We have 2 copies here of Garbage Collection. Be adventurous on the first date and go skinny dipping in hot garbage. Every player, including the one who played this card, must choose 1 card to shuffle into their draw pile. Shuffle into the draw pile. Sorry, not into theirs, but into the draw pile. We have Draw from the bottom. End your turn by drawing a card from the bottom of the draw pile. Take a big bite of your coward sandwich. Discover you have a sentient toilet. And say something nice. And then we have some attack cards. So you have 2 copies of that one. Do not draw any cards. Force the next player to take 2 turns. Release the torture bunnies. whip out your rubber duck collection. We have personal attack. It says, play this attack on yourself and take 3 turns in a row. Listen to the boasting of some very accomplished trouts. Get cursed at by a heck beaver. Finally throw up all the crayons you ate when you were a kid. Give yourself a fierce spanking. We have some targeted attacks. I have 2 copies of that one. Fire the fat hamster crossbow. Do not draw any cards. Force a player to take 2 turns and continue from that player. So that one you actually get to choose. It's not necessarily the next person, so you can actually skip somebody. Speaking of skipping, we have end your turn without drawing a card. Evade the dirty Sasquatch underpants. We have some super skips. End your turn without drawing a card. If you're supposed to take multiple turns via those attacks, end them all. Otherwise, a skip normally only skips one of them. So if you had to take 2 turns in a row, that would only skip the first turn. You still have to take the second. Agree to participate in your cat science experiment. And hitch a ride on a corgi horse. We have a reverse. Receive a hairy tummy massage. Reverse the order of play and end your turn without drawing a card. We have bury. End your turn by secretly putting the next card you draw back into the draw pile as if you had defused it. So they don't know if it's a bomb or a cat or what it is, or anything. Bury something that probably shouldn't be buried. And we have I'll take that. Put this card in front of another player to steal the next card they draw from the draw pile. Send a seagull in who steals things. Send in a klepto cat. Send in a vamp pug. And a hedgehog hogs the blankets. Alright, so that's half of our cards. Now let's look at the other half. Alright, so we have some more exploding kittens. Bomb blows up some ship. And a grenade blows up the house. Launches some nukes. And blows up a starship. We have some more diffuses via laser pointer. Via kitty therapy. Via participation in kitten yoga. Via belly rubs. And via catnip sandwiches. So these are kind of like all your extra ones. Like the first deck I showed you would have been like, this would be the game you'd start with if you're just going to pull it out of the box and play. These would be the extra ones you might use. So we have some nopes. Stop the action when another player can play this at any time. Feed your opponent a nope sandwich with extra nope sauce. Nope Shadoma speaks the truth. A nope ninja delivers a wicked dragon kick. Win the Nope Bell Peace Prize. A Jackanope bounds into the room. Feed your opponent some Cantanope. Deliver some Nope on your jump rope. More like jump nope. Put your necktie of nope, and holy smokes, you look good. We have some more shuffles. We have a plague of bat farts descends from the sky. An electromagnetic Pomeranian storm rolls in from the east. And a transdimensional litter box materializes. And the last shuffle is Crab Lincoln is elected president. Skips, we have Engage the Hypergoat. Dine a portable Cheeto Butt. Crab Walk with some crabs. And Commandeer a Bunny Raptor. We do have this, which is a little bit different. So we have Alter the Future with a lightning bolt that says now. Get that perm you've always wanted. Privately view and arrange the top 3 cards of the draw pile at any time. So I believe the now means you can play it as an instant on anybody's turn. So we also have Alter the Future ×3, consult with a business goat. We have some more copies of Swap Top and Bottom, which all have the same artwork. Some more attacks. Fire the Crabapult. Deploy 1,000-year back hair. Unleash the Tatterwalkie. Some more targeted attacks. Deploy the growing kicking panda bear. Unleash a shark who hurts with words instead of teeth. A new card we haven't seen, but is in one of the other sets. It's in Exploding Kittens. Is a Catatomic Bomb. This causes fur alarm. Remove the exploding kittens from the deck. Shuffle the deck. Put all the kittens face down on top. Your turn ends after playing this card. So basically, how many are left is, if you're 5 players and you play just at the beginning of the game, there should be 4 other ones in there. All 4 are going to be on the top. So basically, to survive, they're going to have to play all their diffuses. We have some more berries. Clean up while your cat watches. We got 2 copies of that one. And we have another copy of that one. We have some more basic cats. We have the Taco Cat, who's a palindrome. Which a palindrome, in case you didn't know, is it's the same word spelled backwards or forward. You spell Taco Cat either direction, it's the same word. We have some more reverses. Try something new today. Return from an unpleasant doctor's visit. Go back in time and steal a pregnant dinosaur. And we got 2 copies of that one. And then our final set of cards is we have feral cats. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of that, which is going to say uses any cat card. And that'll help you get them 3s and 3 combos out. Alright, so that's all our different cards. So yeah, if you've seen all the other videos, you own all the expansions, you've probably seen all those before. There shouldn't have been anything necessarily new in there. Then what we have are our recipe books. So, there's a bunch of different ones of these. What did it say? It was 13 of them? Yep, 13. So it's just different types of gameplay. So, for example, we have Black Hole. The game begins with only imploding kittens, but for 2 players. So it's going to tell you how many players, how long it should take. It's about a 10-minute long game. It mentions it's a 2-player variant. Each player starts with 7 cards and no diffuses. So then if we open it up, it's going to tell us exactly which cards to use. So it's going to say use 1 imploding kitten, 3 skips, 1 nope, 2 shuffles, alter the future, swap top goods, examples. It's going to say all the different cards to use. And that's just neat. So it's just different modes of gameplay. So we're going to just go through these fairly quick. I'm not going to read off all the ingredients. We have sharing is caring. What's mine is yours, even the bad stuff, but for 2 players. This is another 2-player game. So there are the different ingredients. You have 1 exploding kitten. You have 3 diffuses in the deck. Some marks. You guys see different cards that weren't in the other one. Add some barking kittens in there. We have another 2-player variant. We have Power Play. A game where there are no small moves, but for 2 players. So this has a lot more different cards, but it's a lot, like 1 of each, for the most part. Except for the nopes, some attacks, some drops. So you're going to be doing a lot of different stuff. You have shrieking kittens, imploding kittens. Yeah, you can kind of mess around with stuff. Should be interesting. I like share the future in there, because you have to share it with the person next to you. So here's some 3 to 5. So you have Black Hole again, game with only imploding kittens, but this is the 3 to 5 player version. So it's 15 minutes long. So depending on how you're playing, starts with how many cards and how many diffuses. Imploding kittens, number of players -1. So that's why there's 4 of them in the deck. But that's actually kind of fun, because then you get one, and it's like, oh, I don't lose, but then now you have to play a different one, but there's no diffuses, so you can't get around those. We have sharing is caring, but the 3 to 5 player variant. We have the Power Play 3 to 5 player variant. Just add some more of each card because they're going to be playing more players. Alright, now we're going to start getting to the new ones that we haven't seen yet. So we have Meowkishist, just be masochist, but with meow in there. A game loaded with lots of risk and lots of reward. 2 to 5 players, should take about 10 minutes. See different cards we're going to have there. So there's some personal attacks, some reverses, alter the futures. There are instances. We have Danger Mode. Warning, highly explosive. Six Exploding Kittens in there. Regardless of how many players there are. Diffuses per player, but there's some attacks, targeted attacks. Draw from the bombs. There's a lot of the regular attacks for stealing cards. We have Sticky Fingers, a game where stealing, thievery, and general criminality are rewarded. About 15 minutes, probably because you have to keep taking cards from each other. Just gonna have all the different things. The mark, which lets you see what people have. Take that, skips, attacks. Attack of the attacks. How many turns in a row can you survive? Oh boy. So this one is going to have 6 attacks, 4 targeted attacks, attack atomic bomb in there, some skips. So basically, you're skipping your turns or trying to skip stuff, reverses, flipping stuff back around. Yeah, I mean, there's always so many cards you can do, but there's definitely some interesting stuff you can do in here versus just playing regular. Here's a Lightning Kittens, a 2-minute game. Each player starts with 1 card and 1 diffuse. And there you go. You have some skips, some reverses, and some notes. None of the other stuff. So either you're not playing a card, or you're reversing and making someone else go one direction or the other, or you're drawing a bomb. We have an Eye for an Eye, which is actually a 3 to 5 player game. So 2 players can't play this one. A game where you can usually see the horrible things about to happen to you. So 15 minutes, probably a little bit longer because you're going to be searching through the deck. Because yeah, we're going to have marks, you can see what they're doing, shuffle to mess stuff up, share the future, alter the future, see the future. Nice. So a bunch of interesting ones there. And then the final one that we have is the Nope Sauce. A game that's not going to go the way you planned. Bunch of attacks and skips and swaps. 8 Nopes. So you're going to burn through those pretty fast. Alright, so the last thing we want to show off is you're also going to get 5 copies of these blank recipe books. So it's the same thing. Recipe name, you can have the note. So just like one of these, you can be like, call it what you want. You want to list how many players, how many cards to start with, how many diffuses. Back is the same. It's a different color just so you don't get it mixed up. And then on the inside is just going to be blank. So that way you can do the same thing. Write down how many cards you want, how many of this. So it's kind of neat. So you can create up to 5 of your own games. And this could definitely be more fun if you have expansions and some of the other cards. Because then you could add in more stuff. The other thing I could definitely see doing with the making your own games up is because there's the Blind as a Bat cards, which are a promo with Cards Against Humanity, a little mini expansion. Plus, if you buy some of the toys or accessories, they have cards that are starting cards in your hand. It'd be interesting to add some of them into the game, but they weren't included in any of these. Or just if you have more sets, you could have if you own Barking Kittens, you could have 4 Barking Kittens in there instead of 2. If you have Streaking Kittens, I think there was, 1 in this set, maybe 2, you could have another one. Just know to add more and more of these different cards, more attacks, more strikes. You can make a lot bigger game. You can also expand it to more players if you wanted to, which would definitely be interesting. Or maybe like have some weird big party game where like if you have like 10 people, be like 5 people play and 5 people play a different deck, and then when everything starts running out, then you start mixing it. Now, if you bought the party expansion game, which actually is meant for a lot more players, which has cards from each different set as well, I don't own that, so I don't know how much crossover there is with this, but I think they also had some new cards in there, so that might be something too, but they have different backs, so you might want to either have a different back, or you're going to know that it's from that expansion. But now you know what's in this box. If you saw it and you were curious, there you go.